Hi guys, my name's Nat. I'm a librarian for Kingston Libraries. If you are doing something on Saturday 8th, it will be coming to our virtual campfire day. It's going to be a summer camp day. It's going to be a day where we're going to have lots of storytelling for adults and for children. There's going to be campfire cooking and lots of really cool stories. So make a date, Saturday the 8th. First event starts at 10 and the last event is at 6 p.m. You may need to book in advance tickets. It will be on Eventbrite, so check our Eventbrite page. And if you want to, please make a camp on that day. It can be really creative, or it can just be some cushions from the living room. We also want you to make a fire as well. Not a real fire, a fake fire. If you can make a fire out of bits of card and paper and have some lights, or you could maybe use some really colourful card and paper and make a really nice indoor fake fire, that will go really well with your camp. If you can do that, that would be great, and we can all celebrate our summer camp together. If you need some inspiration, there's a great programme called The Dengineers, which is on BBC iPlayer. Watch that if you want some ideas about how to make a camp. And if you want to make a campfire with moving flames that are made from paper, keep watching this video, because after this I'll show you how to do that. Thank you very much guys, and see you on Saturday the 8th. Hi guys, today I'm going to make a campfire. It's not a real campfire because campfires are dangerous and we can't have a campfire in the house. And we can't really have a campfire in the garden either. So I'll show you how to make one which is very safe. Maybe you could make one too with bits of card, make fake logs, use rolled up bits of newspaper, lots of colourful card. But today I'm going to show you how to make a really cool one with a fan and some paper. What you'll need to do is get a fan. Now, these fans are really cheap and they're called USB fans because you can charge them by micro USB. The only problem is that this fan, which I bought for £3, isn't really powerful enough for what we want to do. It will work, but it just means that your fire will be really small. And you'll see what I mean when I make the video, as we make the video. Okay, so we're going to use this fan instead because it's super strong, and what we're going to do is make flames out of tissue paper, and the tissue paper will be blown by the fan and it will look like a real flame. It's a really cool effect. This fan, however, needs to be plugged into a USB power source. So for that I'm using a little simple power pack, but you might want to use another little tiny power pack or something a bit smaller. If you have one of those, that would be really cool. That's how this would work. These fans are really safe as well to use because they're kind of rubberized plastic, so they're not going to hurt you, but you still need to be careful. The other problem as well is there is a little spinning thing here, and you might get your hair caught in that. However, they're really easy to take off if that's the case, so they're pretty safe. The other thing you'll need is a box. You can have a little small box like this. That would be really cool. You could maybe use a box like this too. However, because of the length of our fan, we need to have something which is a bit deeper than a small box like this. But I think maybe the box like this would be really cool for a little fan like that if you wanted to make a little tiny fire. In order for the fan to blow the things above it, you'll need to cut a hole in the box, and that will be enough space to put your fan in and blow those things. Okay. You need a box. So I'm going to use a cardboard box which is about this big. It's got to be big enough to fit your fan in. So if you imagine your fan's going to be in here, it's going to spin around, and if there's a hole which can sort of fit the size of that fan, that would be really great. So if we imagine that our fan is going to be about there, we'll make the hole here. So let's have a look. That was about there, wasn't it? Now that I've marked out the hole to cut, I'm going to cut. I'm using a scalpel blade. If you're going to do the same thing, then you'll need to have an adult to do that because it's really dangerous. Or you could make a little hole by poking a pen through it, or something a bit pointy, and then you can get your scissors in here and cut round as well. But be careful of your fingers. Also, to make our super simple realistic campfire, you'll need some foil. This foil will line the base of the box and will reflect light through the hole, and it will also provide some kind of noise as well, which sounds crinkly like a fire. Now that we've got our hole, we can put our fan in it to see if it fits. That spins around great. Let's put our foil now into the bottom. And also around the sides. You will also need a torch. The torch will help to make the fire look really realistic. This is a head torch, which we will place inside, facing upwards. If you're really lucky, you might have an old phone lying around. Old phones are great because they come with a torch. And they're really thin as well, so you can stick them inside the box. Okay, so now that we've got our box with a hole and our foil in the inside, a space inside for a light and a space inside for our fan, we'll need to make the flames. And also we'll need to make the realistic fire looking sticks and twigs that go on top. You can do that by using real twigs, or you could use lolly sticks, or you could use rolled up bits of paper. These kind of look twig-like, and they can go across the hole like this. I'm going to use some card to make some really long twigs. And we could make a bit of a branch as well, which can go on the side, like a real fire. Now, if you're really artistic and you want it to make it really realistic, then give it a paint. Paint it brown, twig-like. Now I'm going to just show you how to do this by sticking this down here, using a bit of tape, but you could always glue it down as well. Using some masking tape here too, or you can use some brown tape, which is super cool. And when people make fires, they kind of stack twigs up at different angles, don't they, like this? And we need to fix those down as well. So we can use some PVA glue to stick the paper together. I'll roll up bits of paper, like so. Some glue underneath here. Stick that down. You can glue this down as well. We don't have to use sellotape, but if you've got some tape, that's cool too. I think we need a bit more glue in here. Okay, so I've made some fake leaves and I've put them around there so it looks a bit like the ground. And then I've made some of these fake twigs and branches, which become the main bit of our fire. And we need to make some fake flames now. So what I do is I use simple tissue paper to do that. Tissue paper which you can find in your house. Pretty much all this stuff you can find in your house, like the cardboard, the paper, and twigs you can find outside, so that's cool. So there's nothing too crazy that you have to try and find. I guess the only thing is the fan. But you can make a fire without a fan using bits of coloured paper or card and put a torch underneath there to make the light come out of the hole. So that's okay. So to make the flames, what I'm going to do is get some tissue paper, and it has to be tissue paper because the fan needs to blow the paper to make it move like a flame. If it's thick paper, like normal writing paper, it won't move like a flame because it's too heavy. Even though paper is quite light, it needs to be really light, and that's why we need to use tissue paper. So I'm just going to draw out some flames, and we don't want them too big, again because we want the fan to be able to blow them. I'm just doing a zigzag pattern because when we get to cut the tissue paper or tear the tissue paper, we can get two flames, one on either side. Okay, so we're going to do more cutting now, so you might need to get a grown-up to do this. I could just tear it with my hands, but tissue paper is quite tricky stuff. It can just tear very easily. So we need to make a controlled cut with some scissors. Okay, so we've got our tissue paper, and tissue paper is really cool because it's something which is called 2-ply, which means that it's made up of 2 pieces, which are kind of pressed together. So we can peel these flames that we've cut out and get some really thin flames, and we get 2 for the price of 1, which is really cool. And we need to be careful because we've got to stick these to our twigs. I'm going to stick them down. It can be a bit fiddly. So let's give that a try and see how we're doing. They might be too big, so we'll have a look and see if it works. Let's stick that in, see what happens. Oh yeah, that's looking great. So we've just stuck the fan in now just to check to see how it looks. It's looking pretty cool. We've got our foil in there as well. And what we can do now is add our light. Okay, so I've got our old phone that we can use, and it's got our light. Stick that in here. That looks really cool. Okay, so here it is. This is our realistic looking-ish campfire. And you can see the dancing tissue paper flames and our paper twigs and our paper leaves and our cardboard branches. Now you could do something really cool as well, and you could use different coloured papers and cards, and you could use different things, you could use real branches and twigs and real leaves. And it doesn't have to be moving as well. You don't really need to use a fan, but if you do want to have this kind of dancing flame effect, then you'll need to use one of those USB fans that I showed you earlier. But you could make one without one. It would still be really, really cool. And you could move the flames in a different way. And I'll leave that up to your imagination as to how you can do that. Now, it's always really good to have a light in your fire. I'm using that old phone, but you could also get these kind of fake tea lights. Don't use real tea lights. We don't want to use real candles or real flames. And also you can use bike light too. Stick that in there. Well, I think it looks really cool. I hope you do too, guys, and I hope you give it a go. And if you do, please show us what you're doing or what you've done. Follow our Twitter feed, Facebook and Instagram, and post your things up there too, and link them. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please give it a go and let us know how you got on, and share any ideas you've got as well to make this even better. You could make this, improve this in a new way. Thank you very much, guys, and I hope you have a really cool indoor camping experience or backyard camping experience. See you later.